Hello everyone, welcome to the Scumdog's Kennel. I'm your host, Chris Williams. In today's Cryptid Corner mini episode, I have a couple of South American stories. One story delving into basically the DNA study that leads the way to the original Incas. Basically, they're trying to find out in this study where the Inca people came from. And another talking about basically a South American cryptid. Both articles are very fascinating, and I want to read them to you today. So, let's get into this article about this DNA study. After 3 years of tracking the genetic fingerprints of the descendants, we confirmed that the two legends explaining the origin of the Inca civilization could be related. You can run, but you can't hide, especially when the hunters have your DNA. More importantly, you can recreate the birth and history of an empire despite massive efforts by its conquerors to erase it from memory. These revelations and warnings come from Peru, where researchers use DNA samples from present-day Peruvians living in two distinct areas claiming to be the birthplace of the Inca culture and found that both are right and related. It's like a paternity test, not between father and son, but among peoples. Ricardo Fujita and Jose Sandoval of Lamas University of San Martin de Porciet led the research and co-authored the study published in the journal Molecular Genetics and Genomics. They and their team were attempting to find the true origin story of the Incas and to determine which of the legends were true. Did they descend from a single couple, the lovers Manco Capac and Mama Ocolo, who lived near Lake Titicaca, or were the first Incas the two Ayer brothers from the Tambo mountain in the Cusco region? To do this, they obtained DNA samples from over 3,000 indigenous people in Peru, Bolivia, and Ecuador, and compared them with DNA samples from confirmed Inca descendants known as Penacas, living near Lake Titicaca or in Cusco. That comparison located about 200 individuals who were linked to Inca nobility. The surprise in this discovery is that the individuals were found in both groups. Well, that is indeed interesting, folks. It looks like there was a lot of inbreeding down in South America that's been going on for hundreds of years, and that maybe both legends have elements of truth in them. So, let's read on and hear exactly what the real truth is. Probably the first migration came from the Puno region and was established in Tambo for a few decades before heading to Cusco and founding Tehuantinsuyo. While the two origin stories are still myths, Fujita's research goes a long way, words proving the vast Inca empire did begin in one location. However, conclusive proof requires remains and artifacts from that time. Unfortunately, the European invaders who conquered the Incas with might and disease destroyed as much as they could that wasn't gold or other treasures, including revered mummies that may have dated back to the birth of the Incas. Now, don't think that basically the Europeans were basically all that bad, folks. Remember, the Incas, guess what? The Inca Empire wasn't destroyed just by, the Spanish, but also by other Native American tribes that rose up because the Incas were real monsters who went around killing these people as well, and basically, really making their lives miserable. So don't think it's just the Europeans that destroyed the Incas, folks. They brought it on themselves as well. Either way, let's move on with the article. I just wanted to say that before we continue. The genetic study may help find early remains by searching for individuals with the highest concentration of Inca DNA. The researchers hope to then examine their burial sites and surrounding areas for signs of ancient relics and artifacts. As their story continues to unfold, now, with the help of DNA, the story of the Incas grows to more than just sacrifices, conquests, and Machu Picchu. Well, that's good. There's more to everyone on the planet, folks. Every civilization has more to it, but still, the Incas, they were still killers who basically sacrificed people to their gods. And this is why they basically fell, folks, because everyone hated them. But I'm just saying that because, it's the truth. Some people might not like that truth, but, everyone can basically be an evil person, folks, and you can see that all over the world. Either way, let's move on to the next article. Mapinguari, a legendary South American cryptid. Let's get into this article and read about this Mapinguari and hear exactly what it's all about. According to legend, Mapinguari is slow, ferocious, and dangerous because of its ability to move noiselessly between the vegetation. It avoids water bodies of water, which limits its movement in an area where many rivers, brooklets, and lagoons exist. Most accounts state the creature is a carnivore, although not necessarily a human eater or even hunts them, folks, because if you continue and read more, when it senses humans, it stands up on its rear legs and is as tall as 7 feet. The nocturnal animal has a lumbering gait like grizzly bears. Native accounts of Mapinguari. According to some accounts, the creature has characteristics related to other preposterous beings of Brazilian mythology, like backward feet, long claws, caiman-like skin, and a second mouth on its belly. Mapinguari is by some witnesses described as a Bigfoot-like creature. Most think of it like a hairy giant ground sloth that can stand on 2 legs, appearing like an ape man. Natives, they say that when they startle one, it emits a foul stench from its stomach. It's said to have a flat snout, and normally it moves clumsily on 4 legs. So it does sort of sound like a sloth, folks. At least the way they're describing it here, folks, because I've seen a few pictures of sloths, and they do seem to have large snouts like this, folks. So very, very interesting. Let's read this chapter of the article. First, Mapinguari Expedition. Paulo Anibal G. Mesquita went into the interior of the Amazon region knowing Mapinguari legend and intended to investigate the possibility that this cryptid still exists and might be the last of the megafauna of the Amazon. These are large animals of a particular region or time. Generally, they are defined as animals that weigh over 11,002 pounds to over a ton. Mesquita's group investigated reports of the Mapinguari in some remote parts of the Amazonian jungles. They collected many reports of people who saw the cryptid. One allegedly attacked a landlord in a village north of Mato Grosso. Now, let's read this part, folks. Mapinguari, myth or cryptid. It is unclear whether the cryptid exists. Ornithologist David C. Oren, head of the zoology division of Email GLD Museum in Belém, Brazil, spent 8 years gathering accounts of the creature. His findings suggest that the Mapinguari may be a descendant of Megatherium, a species believed to be extinct, and he speculated it might be a surviving Mylodon. Megatheriinae were a group of elephant-sized ground sloths that lived from 2 million to 8,000 years ago. Its smaller ground sloth-type relatives were the Mylodon. Unlike the modern-day tree sloth, Megatherium was one of the largest mammals to walk on planet Earth, weighing almost as much as an African bull elephant. It had huge claws on its feet. Fossils of its footprints show that it walked primarily on its hind legs. When it stood on its hind legs, it was about 20 feet tall. The Megatherium had a skeleton with a large pelvic girdle and a broad muscular tail. Its large size made it possible to feed at heights unobtainable to other contemporary animals. Raising on its hind legs and using its tail to form a tripod, the Megatherium was able to support its body weight while using its forelegs with curved claws to pull down tall branches. Its large, deep jaws believed to have had a long tongue which it would use to pull leaves into its mouth as today's sloths do. Possibly, a great climatic change was one of the factors that led to the giant sloth's extinction. Many fossils of the Indidatta group of giant ground sloths were being found in all of South America. Some became extinct recently in geologic terms 6,000 years ago, according to research. During the time megafauna lived, the Amazon was not a rainforest but was a savanna, where forests were confined to the longest of the major rivers. Oren collected evidence to prove the Mapinguari existed, but some of which were anteater scat, a goatee fur, inconclusive tracks, and tree claw marks. He still considers the creature to be real, highly elusive, extremely rare, and avoiding human contact. Until a live specimen is caught and a corpse is found, the Mapinguari remains a cryptid and creature of legend. Alright folks, that was very interesting. Do you think that Mapinguari exists? It might. And what do you think about basically the Inca having, that both origins for their existence might be true, at least to some extent, folks. All this information is so unbelievably interesting, folks, that I wish I could basically share a bit more with you. But, I only have 10 minutes for this video, and it was a good one. And it leaves you wondering what else is real, what other cryptids and other things about legend might be real. In fact, folks, I kind of believe that the Mapinguari is indeed a real living animal. Either way, we're at the end, so please go subscribe to my YouTube channel. Read comics, they're bad for you. You can use the YouTube link down below in the descriptions or the chat to go subscribe to me. hit that like button for me. Make sure you're still subscribed. Leave some comments down below. Hit that bell for notifications. Make sure you hit the part of the bell that will give you all future notifications. And please share this video out. I'm Chris Williams from the Scumdogs Kennel. Thank you all for joining me. I'll be back again tomorrow with another great video, so be sure to come back again then. Till next time, folks, I'll see you all again soon.